Northamptonshire moved 39 points clear at the top of the LV County Championship Second Division table by completing their third successive win, defeating Kent by 7 wickets with a day to spare in Canterbury, with Trent Copeland taking his tally of wickets in the match to 10. Once again, Northants turned an uncertain position quickly into a victory. Day 3 began with nothing really between the teams, with Kent on 6 without loss, just 26 runs behind. But Copeland was soon putting his side on top. Having trapped Sam North East bang in front in the morning's 4th over, the Aussie did the same to Rob Key in his next over. That left Kent on 15 for 2, still 17 runs behind. That may not have been the start that they'd wanted, but they were hardly in a state of woe as yet, and with Daniel Bell-Drummond and Brendan Nash settling in, there was still every chance that the home side would be at least competitive. That was until Bell-Drummond hesitated for just a fraction to Nash's call, and Stephen Crook, who can do no wrong this summer, swooped in to conquer. It was mighty close, but Bell-Drummond had to go. Copeland, meanwhile, was Kent's main tormentor. Having taken 5 for 71 in their first innings, he now took his match tally to 8 by having Nash caught behind on 14. Crook then got in on the action with the ball in his hands again. He got his line just right to have James Treadwell LBW for a duck. And then in his next over, he bowled Matt Coles, who won't be too happy with this shot. So by lunch, Kent was 6 down with a lead of only 38, and Mike Powell had retired hurt after a brief time at the crease after taking a blow on the elbow in the field. The only home batsman who got his head down and took the attack back to the visiting batsman was Geraint Jones, who batted with authority. Although in a rather desperate position at lunch, the game was not lost yet, and certainly not if Jones could keep going. He reached a fine 50 with his 8th boundary in an innings thus far lasting 72 deliveries. His attacking approach had paid dividends for his side, but they needed many more runs from him yet. For a while, Jones found a steady partner in Callum Haggett, who stuck it out with the former England man for 13 overs in which 47 runs were added. But Copeland wasn't done yet, and he picked up his 4th wicket of the innings by encouraging Haggett to edge behind on 12. Jones followed in the next over for 57, LBW to an in-swinger from David Willey. With Kent on 121 for 8 in the lead at only 89, Powell had no option but to come back out again to see if he could just edge that advantage as far up as possible. But he was soon back off after Mark Davis edged Copeland to Andrew Hall and Willie bowled Charlie Schreck. Kent were all out for just 135, with Copeland claiming 5 for 42 for match figures of 10 for 113, the second 10-wicket match haul of his career. And thanks largely to him, Northamptonshire now only needed 104 runs to put a lot of distance between them and the rest of the second division. They dragged themselves back into this match on day 1 when Kent were cruising on 204 for 3 in their first innings, and on the second day when they themselves were on 186 for 7 in reply to Kent's 271. Now Stephen Peters and Carl Kurtzer had a fairly easy job on their hands to win for the 3rd match in succession. They did have a little wobble. On 13, Kurtzer edged Haggett to Treadwell. Peters on a runner ball 37 chipped a return catch back to Haggett. And David Sales pulled Coles out to Bell-Drummond after making 10 to leave Northamptonshire on 65 for 3. But the victory was never in doubt, and Hall sorted that in the evening session. It has certainly been some start for the county. They would almost certainly have beaten Glamorgan in the season's opener had it not been for the rain, and they thrashed both Essex and Gloucestershire with plenty of time to spare. They were not going to need the 4th day of this match either, as Hall struck the winning boundary off Treadwell. The margin of victory was 7 wickets, and the 22 points accrued have given Northamptonshire 77 for their first 4 matches this season. Yorkshire were promoted last year with 5 wins. Peters' team already have 3 this summer. Kent collected 5 points after suffering their first defeat of the campaign. Both sides now turn their attention to the new Yorkshire Bank 40 competition.